Yeah, John, this is a wild and dangerous high-speed pursuit. The van you see right there, we understand there's a female driver. We don't know if there's anyone else inside that vehicle, but she's driving erratically. She's already slammed into a couple patrol cars, and incredibly, she actually chased a patrol car, went right at the patrol car, and the patrol car had to get out of the way. We understand there was possibly as many as 2 LAPD officers that have been hurt. We're right now on the 405 freeway northbound coming up into the Sepulveda Pass. Sunset is coming up. That's Sunset Boulevard right there, and you can see from time to time she drives extremely fast, then she slows down, swerves in and out of traffic. It's a pit maneuver. They're doing the pit maneuver. They want to stop this. This woman is dangerous. We don't see a pit maneuver often on the freeway, but 2 LAPD officers have already been hurt. They're doing everything in their power to get this woman to pull over to the side and get this pursuit over. You see now they're going to pin her in, and that was not successful. She was able to get away once again. So they have about a dozen LAPD patrol cars behind this vehicle right now. Two officers, we understand, have already been hurt. We don't know how badly, but you very seldom see this. This is how badly they want to take this woman into custody. You can see the patrol car was damaged there trying to get up to this van. It's a big van. They're trying to get right up next to it, slam it up against the side of the K-rail or the shoulder there, and that did not work. That was not successful. There's an LAPD helicopter overhead. We're still on the 405 freeway northbound. You see the night sun right there. There's no volume on the 405 north, so it's a smooth sailing, if you will, all the way up into the San Fernando Valley. But LAPD officers want to get this over with. This woman is driving erratically, and she appears to be driving in an extremely dangerous manner. Here they go once again. They're going to try and stop this. Boy, look at the way the van swerved to the right. Now they've got it spun out. Wow. If she continues, though, she's going to go head on into the officers.
And do we know, Scott, we know a woman is driving. Do we know, are there any passengers in the vehicle with her?
We don't believe so. This is incredible. We don't believe so, but we don't know for certain. It's hard to tell because you can't get inside that van. But she is just flooring it right now, getting as much power to that vehicle as possible, and it's just spinning around in circles. It's a big van, though, and the patrol cars just don't have the weight or the mass to really stop this vehicle. But you could tell she's lost control of it. There's enough damage to the vehicle right now where she has lost control of that vehicle, and she can't really continue on. It looks like now they may be able to pin her and get her stuck, get her in between some of the patrol cars, but now she's going southbound in the northbound lanes of the 405, and look at all the patrol cars here that were headed northbound behind her. Now you can see those people just driving the freeway, headed right into this woman who's driving so erratically and so dangerously.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
I've never seen police act so aggressively to try and stop a driver like this, and you can see why. She's really putting lives at risk.
Yeah, she chased a patrol car, John and Rachel. She went after the patrol car with her vehicle. They had to try and get out of the way. And we understand, we believe 2 officers have been hurt. So when you have a woman who's right now is going to be looking at, charges of attempted murder on a police officer by trying to ram them with her vehicle, once you see that, once you see somebody driving into oncoming traffic, this is so dangerous. Yeah. I don't know that I've seen a pursuit this dangerous before because of the speed and because there's damage to that van. That's oncoming traffic you're looking at on the 405 North, and the van is heading southbound. And we saw earlier with the damage to the van, she's lost control. Oh, boy, head on into that car. Yeah. There you go. We hate to see this. We hate to see innocent people get hurt. But we're looking at it right now, such a difficult pursuit to stop and to get around here on the 405. This is amazing. She is southbound on the shoulder on the northbound lanes of the 405. We're in the Westwood area. I think we're kind of up Westwood Boulevard or Sunset again here in just a moment. And look at that, guys. I mean, swerving across all lanes, and she's lost some control of the vehicle, you can tell.
Yeah, we hope police, I'm actually surprised that traffic hasn't been stopped, but I know these things can just escalate so quickly. But hopefully they can pause traffic because, yeah, this is so dangerous.
Yeah, she's already hit 1 car head on. Scott, do we know how this started?
We do not know exactly. We know it started in Venice. We're not certain what the want was on this vehicle, but it's nearly impossible to stop all traffic on the 405 northbound. Now, they've done that a little further south. I can see it out the window, so they're doing everything they can do to try and make this as safe as possible, but it's just so dangerous. So up ahead, you're going to see an area where there are no vehicles coming northbound on the 405, and then you're going to see a hole open up out of your shot. You're going to see where the freeway is shut down. It's going to be interesting to see, push back in, what she does when she comes up on that stopped group of traffic on the 405 North. Again, she's southbound at a high rate of speed in a van that she's having a hard time controlling. Open up a little bit for me, and then you're going to see where the blockade is, if you will. There's the patrol car. There's the blockage of the freeway, and boy, how dangerous is this?
Oh my gosh, and it looked like she's...
Oh my goodness, she's going to go head on into those vehicles.
Oh my
God. She decided to slam into them without even hitting the brakes. So we're going to have innocent people hurt. Oh my goodness, I can't believe we just saw that. That was horrible.
We see one person get out of their vehicle.
2 vehicles at least hit head on, it looks like.
People are going to be hurt here. This was such
She's climbing out now, looks like, or somebody's climbing out.
Yeah, oh my goodness. This was such a dangerous pursuit, and now we see innocent people have been hurt. And we're going to try and re-rack some of that footage, but it's one of the craziest pursuits I've seen, with a vehicle spinning around in all sorts of directions trying to get away from the police. There she is right there. She's up on top of the cab of that semi, and officers have their guns drawn, and boy, she is distraught. It looks like she may try and get inside one of the vehicles. Oh my goodness. You see, she's pointing at them like she had a weapon. Right. Obviously, if she had a weapon, they would open fire on her, but right now, they are working with someone probably under the influence of drugs or alcohol or mental health issues, and they're just trying to get her into custody. Ambulances are headed this way right now, and there they have her. But oh my goodness.
Wow.
What a dangerous pursuit, and sadly, it looks like innocent people are going to be hurt in this one.
I hope they're okay, and I hope those ambulances can get there quickly and treat those other drivers, but wow.
Multiple drivers hit, 2 LAPD officers, we believe, injured as well. Boy, she did a lot of damage in a short period of time.
Sure did. This was probably one of the wildest ones I've seen too, Scott.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Now, what we're going to have here on the 405 freeway northbound is a complete closure of the 405 freeway. So the 405 freeway northbound is going to be shut down. All lanes. This is going to take a while to clear.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC7 content by clicking the subscribe button for our YouTube channel, and download the ABC7 Los Angeles streaming app on Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV, and Roku to watch on your TV.
Actually have, we believe, one of the victims there. Can you tell us which car you were in and what did you see?
So I was in that black GTI right over there.
You got out of there.
And I got out of there real fast, because you can see the driver's side door is pinned against my door, and when that van came to a stop, I wasn't sure who was inside, what they were going to do, if they were going to come out and try and steal my car or attack me, or if they were armed. So I immediately jumped out of my car and came over here to the shoulder and just waited while the police apprehended that suspect.
What is your name, sir? Where were you headed? And tell us what you saw. You're parked there on the freeway. Did the officers stop you, and then you saw this vehicle coming in your direction?
So yeah, my name's David Hill. I was on my way to work in Thousand Oaks. Initially, what had happened is traffic had came to a complete stop as the police car on the freeway was weaving left and right to get everybody to stop. And we were stopped for about 10 to 15 seconds. Then out of nowhere, this white van just came careening into us, and it hit a car in front of me. That car took the initial impact, I would say, and I was more of a secondary impact, and it kind of just hit my car and scraped the side and went into the truck next to me. And it happened so fast. It was incredible. It was
pretty scary just to watch. I can't imagine being there. You know, I imagine you did not know why all of the cars around you were stopped when you all had to really stop in traffic there on the freeway. But can you tell me what was going through your mind when you did realize, just as quickly as it happened, what was going on? You see these lights coming in the wrong direction.
Yeah, you know, I really didn't have a whole lot of time to react, to be honest. It was terrifying just to see a car coming at me, and the sounds and the impact of the accident was alarming. And again, I just reacted for my own safety and just got out of the car as quick as I could once the car came to a stop, because again, I didn't know what that suspect, what they wanted, what they were doing, what they were being chased for, any of that stuff. So,
we're actually looking at the video, David, and I think later on you're going to be able to see this. And you know, you're just fortunate that car didn't, that van rather, didn't collide with you head on. It sort of swiped the front of your vehicle there, and then we see you jumping out. And really quickly, right after that, I mean, I know it happened so fast, but did you get a look at the driver, and, like, you know, after you got out of the vehicle, what did you see?
Initially, from the side of the road, I could see it was a white female, late 20s maybe. She appeared to be on drugs. And she was kind of screaming, yelling. She actually got out of the van and jumped onto the hood of that semi-truck that's next to me. and then I believe she was apprehended on the other side of that truck.
You know, I got to tell you, you never know what you would do in a situation like this, and so kudos to you on quick thinking. It was clear to get away from this person driving this van. I just have to ask, you know, are you okay?
Yeah. I'm a little shaken, I'll be honest, but physically I've sustained no injuries. I'm okay in that regard, but I think it's the trauma from this is probably going to affect me for longer than I think I suspect. But
we can only imagine.
I'm physically okay at the moment. Yeah.
We're so grateful that you're okay physically, and we know that you've got to be shaken up there. And yeah, we can imagine that there's going to be some trauma that you're going to be dealing with in the days to come. We really appreciate you talking with us this morning on Good Day LA. Again, we're just really glad you're okay.
Yeah, so glad you're okay.
We're going to go right up to Stu Mandel right now. We've got breaking news to tell you about. This is a pursuit that is now underway. Stu Mandel and Sky Fox with the latest. Stu, what are we looking at here? Pursuit that is now underway. Stu Mandel and Sky Fox with the latest. Stu, what are we looking at here?
Well, it's off in the distance right now. Sky Fox making our way over to it, but it is northbound on the 405 freeway. You can see it right there. Actually, it's saying it's on Sepulveda. The map is because of the distance, but they are following this vehicle on the 405 freeway. I got to work with Jeff a little bit. If we could go a little bit to the right so we could see the car a little bit better, but he's on the northbound 405 freeway right now, and you can see it right there. Now, this has been a very violent pursuit, and when I use the word violent, it's because that van that you're seeing right now for the first time here next to that box truck has actually been colliding with other vehicles. It's been going forward, been going backwards. Apparently they're calling the driver a female driver. We don't know this for sure right now, but right now you can see that vehicle basically right next to that box truck, northbound on the 405 freeway. The original one, well, you know what? It's early in the morning and we're just kind of getting our stuff going here. It looks like that big rig thinks that it's being pulled over. You can see it slowing down right there, and or possibly that van collided. Jeff, we need to go to the right a little bit. You know, we can see that something's going on with that big rig. Maybe they're trying to help bring this thing to an end. There you go. It's a vehicle kind of moved away. They're playing pretty much. Whoa. They're trying to pit this thing. That's the second time they've kind of made contact with it. Now it's off to the right on that shoulder. It's still moving, though. LAPD working to get this van to come to a stop. But apparently this isn't the first time something like that's happened during this chase. LAPD working this. This is on northbound 405. You can see it right there at Moraga. But again, that LAPD vehicle damage, but already you can see smoke coming from the LAPD vehicle. Those front wheels not supposed to be doing that. I might not know too much about cars, but I can tell you that's not right.
Stu, can you hear us?
Continuing on there. Bob, what's going on?
Here you go, because we do have a little bit of information that we've actually been following this pursuit a little bit earlier. This actually started in the Santa Monica area near Ocean and Chautauqua, where an officer called in requiring assistance following a collision with that truck, with that van, and then this actually went through the West LA area where that van was ramming into or trying to ram into officer's vehicle. We understand that a number of now another pit maneuver here.
Oh, jeez, look at that. You know what? These guys, the LAPD, really trying to bring this thing to an end. That was a very hard hit right there. And here comes another one. They are just trying to bring this thing to a stop. Apparently, it's like you were saying moments ago, this is not the first time that. Whoa! Look at that.
The van was ramming into other police cars on surface streets.
Yeah, you know, and this van keeps getting near these big rigs. I'm kind of wondering what that part is all about. It just kind of swerving around there. It looks like that van still is in pretty good shape right there, coming to a stop. This person pretty much taunting officers this morning, coming around again. In LAPD, they just continue to try to do these pit maneuvers. Now, they're not going to try to block them in. We're going to see if we can get a little bit closer, Jeff, maybe a little bit more directly over it. We're losing it behind the hillside here.
But this is super dangerous because we're talking about the 405 freeway, and now that vehicle traveling in the wrong direction, and we have regular traffic that's going through here as well, and that van obviously going at traveling at erratically and at a high rate of speed. From what we understand, inside the vehicle, it is a female driver. She appeared to be waving erratically outside of an open window, and these police officers have to do something because the driver's not stopping. even with the various sort of pit maneuvers that they have been trying. They've been trying to box her in, but
the driver's speeding up at this time.
Ramming a police car at that, or any car at that rate of speed, could be fatal here. So this is real dangerous right now.
Obviously, this is a busy time of the morning, and so you're seeing drivers obviously not even aware what's happening until...
Oh,
jeez.
Oh, my goodness.
Right, you know, it almost seems like this is intentional. You know, that wasn't a very high-speed crash, but it almost seems like it was intentional. And you're so correct. These are just people trying to go to work. They have no idea what is going on right now. This van going in the wrong direction has an opportunity. Could have just whipped the U-turn right there, got back onto surface streets, but continuing on and making these erratic moves out here. Now, LAPD definitely not going to back off on this, and they're not going to wait for California Highway Patrol to get involved. But that van continuing to move, I would venture to say that if they haven't already, LAPD is probably going to make some calls, try to make some sort of block on the freeway. Again, you can see that these cars are slowing down. That big rig actually coming to a stop out there. So they must know something is going on. There's a lot of lights and sirens, and of course that spotlight from the LAPD helicopter. We're going to have to move a little bit more south, Jeff, and a little to the right.
Well,
you can see it.
You know, while this car is not traveling at the highest speed I've ever seen, this has to be one of the most dangerous chases I have ever seen.
It definitely is, as far as a scale of danger goes, most definitely. Now you can see that northbound freeway is kind of empty. Perhaps LAPD has done some kind of blockage on the freeway. That van just continuing on now. You know, you can see those speeds out there. You could venture to say that it's pretty accurate what we're getting right there. I can't say that van is going 100 or even 99 miles an hour. Oh, whoa!
Oh my goodness!
No!
Oh
my gosh! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
What is the purpose of that? That person just sitting there, innocent, and now that van just collided right there. Some other passengers getting out of other vehicles,
jumped out of the vehicle.
For cover.
These unsuspecting drivers again on their way to work and school drop-off, things like that this morning. Oh,
yeah,
goodness.
LAPD coming up. Okay, their person is out of the vehicle, climbing out of the vehicle right there.
On the roof of the car?
Climbing on top. Yep, climbing on top of the car, pointing at the big rig again. I don't know what that fascination with these big rigs are, but LAPD, now they have this situation. You know, you've got injured folks. You have clearly aggression towards the LAPD officers. And if this person tries to carjack this big rig, this is going to end very poorly. That weapon right there, that green laser, that is less than lethal. That is a less than lethal. So, you know, possibly this is coming to an end right now, but what a crazy violent end right there. The person's still up on that roof of that vehicle and the big rig, but I am very concerned about the person inside that car right there. That was definitely a hard hit. That vehicle completely stopped, and then that van just colliding on purpose with that vehicle. LAPD taking that suspect into custody right there, but again, what a crazy morning out here on the 405 freeway. This ending in the Brentwood area just before, right at Wilshire Boulevard. But again, that was, you know, LAPD, what could they do? What could they do?
This car hit head on. I just want to make sure someone's rendering aid to this poor driver, just with no idea.
It almost looked like this was bound to end the way that it happened, with the driver driving the wrong direction on the 405, sometimes at a high rate of speed, and then ramming into a few vehicles there before stopping at a big rig. Unfortunately, this big rig was just too much for that van. But this all began just before 5 o'clock this morning in the West LA Santa Monica area, with an officer asking for help because it had gotten into a collision with this van, and then the van going through the surface streets of Santa Monica and West LA, ramming other police cars. So there was no way that these officers could stop this van, and then the van making its way to the 405 freeway on this busy rush hour and going the wrong direction as officers tried to stop this van. The van then ramming into a couple of vehicles before coming to a stop, going head-on into this big rig here, but that person taken into custody.
Yeah, and we've seen multiple officers walk up to the car that was just hit head-on there, just stopped on the freeway. And that driver appears to be okay. It seems they're getting a repeated thumbs up.
Looks like the officers are talking to some of the drivers there who are still in their vehicles, Stu.
Yeah, they are definitely. But my biggest concern is with Brooke is the driver inside this vehicle right there. That, you know, it seems like the driver is, you know, as okay as can be.
Right.
That's the best way to word it. You can see him moving around. Why they're not getting out of that vehicle, that is a little bit of a question mark for me. There's a lot of front end damage. You see a lot of steam coming out of that car. You just don't want to see a fire start right now. But you can see officers from LAPD. They're working traffic more than anything else. There was a reason why I was staying tight. They're just trying to get people around this incident that just happened right here with that head-on collision. So everybody else that you know that the person inside this car jumped out pretty much right after that collision. This person's staying in the driver's seat, but we can clearly see a cell phone, that movement inside the car. So if they're injured, hopefully it is not life-threatening. But again, what a violent end to a very crazy pursuit out here this morning. That person in custody right now. But after a head-on collision with an innocent driver on the 405 freeway for absolutely no reason at all. And this is one of those incidents where, you know, what could law enforcement have done better? We saw it. We saw it happen. There was very little they could have done to bring this to an end. And again, it also shows you how these pursuits can change so quickly when that driver makes a decision. That driver did, colliding with that vehicle there that was stopped on the freeway while they were trying to bring this pursuit to an end.
I think this was a lot more unusual than a lot of pursuits, Stu, that you cover, in the sense that this was a vehicle that on those surface streets almost seemed to be targeting the black and whites that were chasing or pursuing the van and ramming them. And so at some point, the officers sort of just had to pull back and follow the van to see where it went. It was already damaged a few black and whites there, and then went onto the freeway and turned into extremely dangerous situation with rush hour underway there on the 405 freeway.
Definitely. I believe that's the driver from that silver vehicle with the head-on collision right there on the cell phone, doing what they can. Officers are out there right now. They're just trying to, you know, basically it is going to be, they're going to have to try to figure out how to hold this as a crime scene, get that traffic moving right there. But as far as pursuits go, this is definitely in the books. It's probably one of the craziest ones we saw. And yes, you are definitely correct. That driver almost taunting officers, coming to a stop, targeting them, then slowing down, allowing them to get close enough to, you know, try to pit that van, but then continuing on. You know, whatever that driver was on or was thinking about while this was going on is pretty much irrelevant. What it was the safety of people, you know, the public. And you saw how that took a turn when that van collided head-on with an innocent driver out here actually waiting on the 405, clearing the roadway. So this is all happening on the northbound 405. I'm sure we're going to be talking about this in traffic later on.
I'm sure. You know, and Stu, it's just a wonder when you think about how bizarre this is. It's just a wonder, just the final seconds of this. A wonder that police were able to make such a peaceful takedown of the suspect, at least peaceful arrest after the absolute chaos they've been put throughout this.
You know, Brooke, that actually is very much of a testament to the LAPD officers to hold their, you know, their temper or their adrenaline. They are people just like you and I. They get caught up in, you know, in this type of situation. They can clearly see this person is putting other people in danger. Their job is to not let that happen. They're putting themselves in danger as well. But like you said, at the end, they did hold their, you know, they had the right state of mind to use less than lethal, and then actually not even having to deploy that as far as I could see. And then they just took this person into custody. They took him off the hood of the of that big rig right there. That the in custody part, very.
We're gonna stick with the shot for a moment, Stu, as we reset the situation here. You're watching Good Day LA at 5:30. A police pursuit that came to an end there on the 405 freeway, the northbound lanes at Wilshire, exit 55. For you folks that are driving or on your way out this morning, certainly there's going to be a big investigation here and a big backup. Bob DeCastro here, and along with Brooke Thomas.
And Stu Mundell live in Skyfox this morning. You know, this is just really a wrap-up, combined really of some of your biggest fears when it comes to a police chase, when it comes to a chase like this, the idea of unsuspecting drivers in the pathway, not knowing what's headed their way, and the hope that we don't see what we saw this morning, a crash. You can just see 3 vehicles right there involved in this. They were just kind of stopped on the 405, obviously, you know, on their way to get their morning, on their morning commute.
Yeah, if you're just joining us now, this all started just around 5 o'clock this morning, about a half hour ago, near Chautauqua and Ocean. An officer calling for help after that van, he says, rammed him, or there was some kind of a collision. Other officers responded with their vehicles, but that van then tried to intentionally, the driver tried to intentionally ram other police cars before the driver then went on to the 405 freeway, and then we saw the van turn around, drive in the wrong direction, and oncoming cars, oncoming traffic had to dodge this van as police cars were in pursuit. This all came to an end after that van then rammed into that big rig that you see there, not before ramming into other vehicles that were also in the other direction. And then police were able to arrest the driver after the driver got out of the vehicle, and police were able to take that driver into custody. And now we're waiting to see. We do believe that at this point, some of the people who were in those vehicles were able to get out of their cars. It looks like they're talking with officers, definitely. But certainly there will be an assessment done to see if they are, how hurt they could be.
Yeah, it seemed the driver out of the black car, which was kind of the second car hit in this, got out of the passenger side of the car almost immediately after the crash. And we're still wondering about the driver in the first car that was hit, but we did see many police going around trying to check and make sure the driver was okay, and we could see through the window that the driver is moving around. But this was a bit of a horror show this morning. It's absolutely terrifying crazy just to watch. Not even, I cannot imagine Stu, you know, being one of those people in those cars down there.
Oh, it must have been, you know, hair-raising that you were completely stopped. All these vehicles, for the people that are just joining us right now at the 5 o'clock hour, you know, these people that were in these vehicles, especially that gray one right there, that was the head-on. They were completely stopped. LAPD stopped traffic on the northbound 405 because of this pursuit and the violent nature of that driver. And then that van that you see right there in the center of the screen basically just plowed through all these cars. They were completely stopped. Now, that black car that we see right there, I would say that is the driver that got back into the passenger side of the car. He's probably on his phone talking to friends and family, telling them he is okay. The driver of this car actually did get out and was walking around. We did see him with the officers. I believe it is going to be that gentleman right there again on that cell phone. Now, the LA City Fire Department, they're arriving here. Medics are going to, as you said, they're going to basically talk to everybody, assess the situation, maybe even take somebody to the hospital. But it does seem like everybody involved in this is up and walking around. That suspect, I believe, is still right there. And of course, I would venture to say probably they're going to have to give that person some sort of extra care because of the fact that I would venture to say that they may be on some sort of substance. And we don't want to see those problems that we've seen in the past where they are handcuffed, taken into custody, and whatever those substances are create some issues, and then that person has other health issues. It's probably the most PC way that I can say that. So you've got the fire department there checking that driver out. That is the suspect, the person that caused all this mayhem this morning and destruction. And again, the driver of the silver car talking with LAPD right there, also on the cell phone. And then that black car, we saw that driver climb out the passenger side because he couldn't get out the driver's side, and clearly might have understood what was happening because he got himself to safety as quickly as possible. And that probably was the best thing to do. But again, you know, in the end, even though there is all this destruction here, I still got to say great job for LAPD. They did take that suspect into custody in the end. And there probably are some injuries, but everything was caused by that suspect.
We were just, you know, Brooke and I were here just catching our breath as we watched that van go in the wrong direction there on the 405 during the busy rush hour. And you have to think also it was very fortunate that that van was not traveling much faster, because this could have certainly ended much differently if that van had collided head-on at a really, really high rate of speed.
I don't care if you think I'm Satan reincarnated. The fact is, you can't look at that television and say nothing happened.